let's have a look at some of the chances that Ben Yedder had a couple after he scored the two. This is obviously when United are really
Pogba
chasing
playing a straight ball. That was symptomatic of his performance. Yeah, and now they're caught square. People running off them. You know, this one big switch of play, and it was chance after chance after chance because Manchester United lost all the discipline, all the focus, and this wee man, you know, could have had a hat-trick. Again, you know, really second best in the tackle most of the night, Manchester United. You know, pure passing. You know, that's the nobody from Sanchez. And Sevilla are able to, you know, bring it out. Bailly's caught in two mains. Now the square. Nzonzi was outstanding. Look at this. I mean, look, the back four's disappeared.
It's Mata that's chasing them.
Yeah.
It's Mata.
Because they're so far, they're so square, the brains are totally scrambled. That could have been 3. It could have been 4, Tommy. It could have been 5. I've never seen a Mourinho team play as poorly as that, whether it be defensively or actually going for it. He's not getting away with it tonight. He can't get away with that tonight. He got away with it on Saturday. He got away with it against Chelsea. He's not getting away with that in the blue ribbon event tonight.
They certainly did not. Yet Sevilla through, Manchester United out. Yes, Manchester United out of the Champions League, as Conor says. It was a dark hole night. We have analysed it already. One point that a lot of United fans are talking about in terms of Mourinho's decision making tonight was starting Fellaini in such a big game. Did that in particular come back to bite them?
Well, you don't get a lot of football out of him. He's a big threat from set pieces. What they were doing here, it was like championship stuff. Get him down the line for throw-ins, put it on his head for flick-ons. Early on, and it was understandable because he's only played, well, did he come on for a half just recently? He's not played a lot of football. So, you know, when you're playing at the highest level, you've got to have your sharpness about you. To be fair, this was the best bit of football Man United produced in the first half, and he was involved in it. But you're going to be lacking. You know, you've got to be bang at it in midfield. You've got to be sharp. You know, you've got to be mobile. He was neither of those things tonight. But he is a threat from set pieces. You know, people have been talking about how well McTominay's been doing. I think he saw him as a bigger goal threat tonight. He knew he wasn't going to get a full 90 minutes out of him. Thought, keep him on, get a goal, get him off, get McTominay on to close the game out. Slightly concerning for Paul Pogba, I think. You can see he might not have been fully fit, but now McTominay's chosen in front of him, and now a half-fit Fellaini's chosen in front of him. So if you're Pogba, you can't be happy with that.
I mean, is that the key here, Neil? I mean, decisions like that are where managers are judged.
That's what they get paid for, yeah.
I mean the clips we showed, there's nothing surprising there. It's not unfair on Fellaini. That's just the player he is, isn't it?
Fellaini was one of many who didn't perform. They were so disjointed, either going forward or at the back. Pogba comes on, you know, in the second half, and he looks a player just totally devoid of any confidence whatsoever. You know, his body language isn't great. Here he is, you know, everything's half-hearted. Poor ball. Ball should have went to the right back, didn't open his body up. Again, he picks the ball up here in midfield. Touch. Oh. It's so indecisive and then does that. I mean, that's an £80 million player. That tells me he's not right. Psychologically, he's not there. Physically, he looks fine. But in terms of his, you know, confidence, it's just not there at all. We even saw it at a stage where he kicked the ball just clean out of play. That was a half-decent effort. But there was no drive about him. Half the player he was at the Euros in 2016. So either there's issues with him off the field or he's issues with the manager. But one thing's for sure, he is not producing anywhere near any kind of form to justify playing for Manchester United or many other teams at the minute, and he's not contributing. I saw him against Crystal Palace the other week. Dilly-dallied about the pitch, jogged about. Tonight he comes on, makes no impact in the game whatsoever.
Graeme said, Brian, that he was sorry for him. He felt sorry for him, which is
for a nanosecond.
Quite a big statement. Now, I know you didn't see the game this evening at Old Trafford, Brian, but the point that Neil makes, this is a £90 million player with so much ability, and even from the clips you saw there, that lack of confidence, lack of impact on a big game like that. I mean, where does the explanation for that lie?
Well, there's two parts of this. One, the manager who is in charge. Is he getting the best from him? Is he managing him in the right way? And the second thing is the player who left Manchester United because he felt he wasn't getting enough of a chance at the time, Alex Ferguson. And now that same club made a decision to pay a fortune to get him back, knowing his personality. And there's obviously defects in his personality, which are portrayed by some of his behaviour, by some of the hairstyles and the dressing up style and the cars and so on, right? So they knew about that. They've made a mistake, but the manager is failing to get the best from him. He obviously agreed to this, to go on that road, and thought he was going to make something from him, and he hasn't. So the club are culpable, and so is the manager. But so is the player. He's got to be able to deliver. If he hasn't got the confidence has to come from within yourself based on what you've achieved previously. But you also need the manager to give you a bit of confidence and find a way for you to perform. But Graeme, they've outlined.
Yeah, as a player, where does
deliver.
it have to come from?
Look, Graeme's not been the only one who's been highly critical of Pogba this season. And early on in the season, Mourinho was defending him, saying he's doing this, he's doing that, his stats are good, blah, blah, blah. And they're not now. You know, so something's missing. And they say the relationship between him and the manager, or he's not confident enough anymore, and he should be. But you see him away from football, he's full of it. See him out there tonight, he was like a wee boy.
If you're the United hierarchy, then do you say we've invested massively in this player and in Sanchez, who you say hasn't settled at all in early days for him? Do you say, who do we go for here? Do we back the manager, or do we back the investment in the player?
There's only one winner, and it ain't Mourinho. You know, you go into the dressing room as a manager, you fall out with one player, he's got 4 mates that he's close to. Together, in the modern dressing room, they might be worth a couple £100 million. And the manager in a transfer market is worth, remind me again, how much is a manager worth? Nothing. But
he's on big money, Mourinho.
But collectively, they're worth 200 million. And if they're not playing well, and if they're not in the team, that 200 million value goes down to 125 million. So there's only ever one winner. The players get their way ultimately. But that boy, I mean, is he 25 now? 25 years old? Yeah. I mean, he's not 21, 22, 23. And I come back to it. When we talk about Pogba, there's one thing in my head that sort of jumps. If he had been that good first time round at United, would Fergie have allowed him to go? You know, Fergie was the best in the business at coming over to Ireland and sitting in a boy's room with his parents and persuading him United was the right club. He'd be in Belfast, every other weekend. I mean, nobody worked harder at being successful than Fergie. If Fergie had really wanted Pogba to stay, I'm sure Pogba wouldn't have been allowed to go. He would have made sure he stayed. So maybe Fergie saw something in him that wasn't right then.